Okay, so here we are, starting this adventure, and we deal in lead. And as you can see, Blake has gone through the slip door and come out into this parallel world, I guess. And he's encountered a postal worker. These postal workers on a horse. I don't have a token yet for a horse. I should make one of those eventually. As you can see, the poster board floor is, I colored it. I had to go find a special marker from Michael's, and the sand color from Artist Loft. Yeah, so I had to make that because it's a new world, so I wanted to give it some color in this case. And so here we are. So as I was telling you before, I'm using this sheet here from Mythic, and it has four squares on each side, a total of 8 squares. It's got a list for characters. It's got threads, story threads, which we'll be making the first story thread from this. It's got adventure notes, what the adventure is, what it's about, basically summed up. And by the time we get to the 8th square, I want to be done with this adventure. So it's a one-page wonder, as I like to call it. And the Mythic has its own rules, which we may or may not be using some of these, because I want to use the We Deal in Lead rule system as much as I can, and use Mythic only as a backup. So I might not even use the Chaos system. We'll see. Maybe I'll use the Chaos system. Yeah, we'll see. So this is the, I should say, for better or worse, the excursion chart here. And looks complex. Looks more complex than it really is. Over here, you get some encounters. Some of these tables are just kind of drifting in nowhere. I think that's one of my critiques of this system. It's like, if it's important, it should all kind of be together. And some of these lists are just kind of floating around the book. And they're important ones too. Enemy actions, that's when you're in combat, encounter. So you're going to be going along with this adventure with me. So yeah, I ask that you be patient, because this isn't always an exact science. There's definitely some improv involved. And it's really, my purpose is to show you how the system kind of works, and how it works when you're playing solo. So, first off, I also might be relying on these cards here, the Adventure Crafter card, to get the main story going, the gist of it. I'm going to say, for the sake of expediency, it's going to tie in a lot to this postal worker trying to get something from point A to point B. So that's already something I decided in advance. So let's just kind of jump in there and let's see what happens. I'll use this chart, and let's see, I might even use these Mythic cards for dialogue. Alright, to help me out with that. There's also, real quick, there's also the cards, the tarot cards, which is a really neat thematic thing in the game. But the cards, I could use playing cards, but I don't think they really work as well as just a numbering system. And the system tells you to use D20s for the most part when determining what kind of, it has a list, again, just a floating list of the different cards, the subjects on them and all that that you roll, that you pick. So I'll try to default to the We Deal in Lead system as much as I can. So here we go. Blaine stepped out into the slip door. He encounters this man. He may or may not have an eye patch. I just took like a random, this is like a bandit NPC, or yeah. And the red ring usually signifies he's a villain, but in this case we don't really know yet, so disregard the redness. Alright, so let's see here. Excursion start. Alright, D6 on locations. Well, we're in the desert, so I'm just going to ixnay that. Roll D6 on objectives. Roll D12 on encounter. I might just do the objective because we already have an encounter. And I'm going to roll here, did you meet an NPC? Yes. And we're going to see if he's, you know, helpful, talkative, unsure. Again, I just might use a DM mythic caveat and say he's in urgent need of something. Okay, so here we go. D6. Let me get the D6s out. And again, I like using the... I think the wooden dice is kind of a nice little tribute to the Western style. I'm not sure if they had these kinds of dice back then. So the wooden dice, I'll try to rely on that as much as I can for the theme. So this is for the objective. Let's see if it'll tie in nicely. You got 5. Objective is 5. So let me look up objectives, and I think those are on another chart. So this game uses a lot of charts, so use them accordingly. Let me show wilderness encounters. Wilderness encounters will be handy. Excursion. Excursion. Obstacle, treasure. I'm showing you what I'm looking at here. I don't see objective, so I'm going to have to look in the PDF book again. Oh, here we go. See, these lists are kind of funny. Okay. Excursion objectives. And I rolled a 5. Alright. So, it says here 5. It could be at the city or not. I don't think we're in a city. Terminal. Town. You got a shack. Let's see what else. Way station. Let me adjust, make sure I'm... There we go. Not zoomed in too much. Yeah, so you just get this one. So, let's see. Way station. I'll say maybe by... maybe he might be by some ruins. But I can do D6. And since there's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I can determine how close he is to a city. Maybe he's on the outskirts of a city. We'll see. Ah, slipped over 1 over 5. So a terminal. He's at a terminal. And I rolled 5 previously. And 5. Hunt a missing traveler corrupted by a hitchhiker's dark presence. Okay, so how can I tie that into this guy here? Let's see. Hunt a missing traveler corrupted by a hitchhiker's dark presence. Okay. So, I'm going to say something in advance. I'm going to say, okay, this guy, maybe his co-worker. Maybe he's looking for a co-worker that went AWOL, and he's searching for this guy that has some important mail. He was last seen talking to some mysterious stranger. And then the mysterious stranger went about his way, pretty much disappeared. And so now he's looking for his fellow postal worker, and maybe he's his friend, and he's concerned. And he's also got mail, so he's got to make sure the mail gets to where it's going because the guy's off route. So there we go. Not bad. That's a good starting point. So now I'm going to go, that we got the objective. Yes. Did I meet an NPC? Yes. Roll on 2d6 for reactions. Six, seven, 8. So let's see what his reactions are. Blake. Reactions. Unsure. And so this is where I'll cut an improv. He's definitely unsure of Blake because this guy just came out of this door that's still open. And so he's probably in some kind of awe or trance. Can't really believe what he's seeing. And Blake just kind of went through and he says something along the lines of, "What? How did this?" So Blake's in confusion. Just like the guy is, because he can't hardly believe it. Neither can this dude. So I'm going to draw a mythic card for dialogue to get something going here. Or maybe I'll use the cards to see what the conversation would be like. Let me see here. So I gotta go page by page. It's annoying. That's what's annoying about stuff, kiddies. With RPG books, you have to constantly look back, find where you left off. Okay. Took some doing, but I found the page. Everything, I don't know, it's just not organized that great. So you can see here, the D20. Alright, you have major arcana. This is the deck of tarot cards. Here, you have focus and emotion. Okay. So it says roll a d10 on the focus table and a d8 on the emotion table before manifesting your card. Roll a d20 on the major arcana table or draw from a tarot deck. Reflect upon the resulting phrase and turn it over in your mind. Focus your emotion on the name of the card. Your answer soon takes shape. So here we go. I'm going to roll a d10. Get these little things out of here. Okay. D10. And see what we get here for the focus. 2. So 2 focuses aim. Okay. D8 for the emotion. And I told you this is going to come into D10. D10. Told you this is going to come into play. 6. Forlorn. Forlorn. Aim is forlorn. I think forlorn is regretful, something like that. Forlorn. Maybe he's something about the aim. He's questioning his aim, like where his direct sense of direction is. This guy, and I might be wrong about the forlorn. I have to look it up. The card. Card is a 2. The Magician, High Priestess. The Magician. So the Magician, aim, and forlorn. So perhaps this mysterious stranger, and it's kind of everything we already talked about, set him on a quest, and it's just pretty much emphasizing what we already talked about. He's not sure where the guy is. His sense of direction. He's questioning that. And that may or may not be the fault of his sense of direction, his navigation skills, but it could be supernatural too. The mysterious stranger could be confusing him on purpose. But to balance the order, Blake has been sent in to perhaps renew that sense of purpose. So he basically what he says is that's pretty much what he says. It's like, I'm looking for my friend there, partner. He's lost. I need to mail these. He has mail. He has mail that needs to be delivered, and he went wandering earlier today, and he was supposed to be due back at the office hours ago. So before sundown, I need to find him and make sure everything went all right. There was a mysterious stranger, man in black, that he was seen conversing with. Could you, sir, have you seen this man? And he describes the man, what he looks like. And Blake says, maybe I can help you. I've been wandering myself. And he looks around, looks back and forth. Things seem different here for some reason. Maybe... would there be $50 in it for me? $50? $50. Trying to rob a man? And let's see if he goes for it. Now this I'll use Mythic. I'm going to use a Mythic chart because I think there's a good. Let's see. Let's see. We'll do the cards. We'll stick to the cards thematically. So see. I'll say it's very likely he's going to give him the go ahead. Okay, I'll pay you $50. So I'll draw 3 cards from the top of my Mythic deck to the right here. 1, 2, 3. And let's see what he says. Yes. Exceptional yes. Sir. Not only, well, I'll give you $50, but I'll give you a little bit more as a bonus. If we could find him before the sun sets. Alright. Well, get me on that there horse. Sure thing. And he jumps on the horse, back of the horse, and they are off to the races. And that concludes part 1 of, or scene 1 of our adventure, and we deal in lead. So let me write on the Mythic chart. I'll clear this all off. Okay, or somewhere around here. Okay, I can mark that. Maybe use a marker, dry erase marker, to do that later. But I'm pretty much going to keep it in this area just for the sake of keeping things simple. So let's go to the chart. I think that was a good, successful quest setup. So we'll say Chaos Factor will be right in the middle since it's just starting out. Okay. Blake encounters a confused postal worker. Really, I should say the first scene was him going through the door, but I'll combine them in this case after going through slip door. And then let's say Blake agrees to his quest. For $50 plus. Because that's exactly the amount he needs in the Drifter campaign. And so, see, they don't give you that much to write, which is kind of good and bad, because it helps you simplify each scene. But up here, I can write the summary of the adventure. And then I won't bore you because you already know what pretty much the gist of it is already. The characters, I'll put in postal worker. I don't know the guy's name yet, but I can figure that out from a names list. Okay, we know about the mysterious stranger. I spelled mysterious wrong. And that's about it. This guy and this postal worker. Okay, those are the NPCs. I'll put the parentheses for the guy's name. And down here we'll put the threads, which are pretty much the storylines that you're currently investigating. And once you achieve your storyline thread, you win that adventure, or you finish it. Thread is help worker find friend. For $50 plus. Now, new threads may open up. I'll put a little dot that I can check off here. Later in the game, if I want to, keep it, have possibilities for other adventures stemming from this one, or just like subplots, subthreads come up. A little thing, he helps a kid find his father or something like that. That might come up in the game, or I doubt it since they're in the middle of the desert. There could be like a broken down wagon, and some lady needs to be helped. Her leg got stuck under it or something like that. So that could be a mini thread. So yeah. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this first part of We Deal in Lead. I think it's got some potential. Keep it simple. Keep it probably set in the desert, or if not in the desert, maybe some of the outskirts surrounding the desert. But yeah, thanks for watching. Keep solo questing, and I'll see you in scene 2 in We Deal in Lead. And may you have long days and pleasant nights.